So how can we explain the close connections between cities and creativity? Or in Peter Hall's words, why should the creative flame burn so especially, so uniquely in cities and not in the countryside? Well, creativity inheres in the urban form, in what the great French scholar of urbanity, space and the everyday, Henri Lefebvre, called the urban problematic. The development and transformation of societies take place in and simultaneously produce the urban itself. To understand this, it is helpful to turn to the classic understanding of cities as distinctive spatial formations defined by population size, density, and heterogeneity. A great amount of people of different origins, outlooks, and habits lives in close proximity, being shaped by and shaping their local environments. Henri Lefebvre, who was well aware of the intensity of social control and repression at work in urban life, nevertheless called the urban a differential field. A differential field that would bring together contrasts and contradictions, that would unite or be an ensemble of differences, encounters, and simultaneity. To quote Lefebvre, as a place of encounters, focus of communication and information, the urban becomes what it always was: place of desire, permanent disequilibrium, set of the dissolution of normalities and constraints, the moment of play and of the unpredictable. Let's stay with these terms for a moment: place of desire, permanent disequilibrium, dissolution of normalities and constraints, moments of play and of the unpredictable. If we think of the city in these terms, we are slap bang in the middle of thinking about creative milieus. With regard to the historical, contemporary and future city, creativity thus denotes the capacity of the dynamic entities called cities to provoke and host the emergence of the new. Be it economically, consider the sheer machines of economic growth that cities often are. Be it politically, consider the city as site and battleground of political emancipation and experiments. Be it scientifically, for instance, the European universities and their great inventions are invariably located within urban milieus. Or be it culturally, of course, consider the history and presence of the arts, and then today's importance of art and artistic practices that I will return to later. In this sense, the city's creative spark applies to art and culture as it does to perhaps more mundane fields like technological progress, industrial production, and democratic politics. Now, to make things even more complex, and if anything, cities are complex formations, density and heterogeneity are about more than just human beings. Contemporary urban scholarship increasingly puts an emphasis on the sheer amount of stuff, on technologies, texts, people, animals, computers, plans, words and images, stuff that coexists and co-develops in more or less expansive networks of connections. From this point of view, cities are material networks interlinking human actors with buildings, streets and squares, transport routes, infrastructures, technologies, plants, animals, and so on. The probably most basic definition of cities, therefore, is that they organize people, things, and effects in manifold constellations. And it is this highly complex constellations of human and non-human stuff which is the prerequisite of the emergence and practice of difference, and thus of creativity, which is the prerequisite for the perpetual questioning of order and organization, of control and freedom, of the right way to live that keeps the creative spark alive in our great cities.